My guest today at the Grizzly Media radio show is one of the best guitarists on the earth. He is a former member of Megadeth, and Dave Mustaine has said before that he was the best guitarist who played for the group. He is now a member and co-founder of the band Act of Defiance. Please welcome Chris Broderick. Hi Chris, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show today.
The pleasure is for me. At first, I want to know who influenced you as a guitar player and helped you to create your own style.
Well, I think, if you go back through my history, a lot of the shredders were my biggest influences. If you look at first it started with Eddie Van Halen and then quickly went to Yngwie Malmsteen and then Jason Becker and Tony McAlpine, Paul Gilbert, all of the killer great guitarists of this genre. I was always into that type of playing.
Can you describe your feelings when you are on stage and you rock the place with the band?
For me, it's really that excitement, that connection with the audience. That's the funnest thing. When I see the audience is just so into it and they're singing the lyrics or they're moshing or they're just, totally moving with the music, that's where I get the most excited. And I feel like a show is really that connection between the artist and the audience. Without an audience, there is no show, So that's the excitement that I feel.
Before Act of Defiance, I want to hear you about your years with Megadeth. How it is to work with the legend Dave Mustaine, because somebody told me that he's a very good guy, and others said he is tough because he always said what he have in mind. What is your opinion about Dave?
Well, he's a guy who knows what he wants, and he essentially is Megadeth. It's his sound and his band, and so if you understand that, and you don't expect that you're actually a part of the band or anything like that, then you do fine in that context, and that's ultimately why I decided that I had to leave, because I wanted to have my own say in music and my own, freedom. But as far as working with them, as long as you go in there with that mindset, you'll do fine.
Megadeth, it's a legendary band. Sometimes do you regret this decision?
I'm very, very glad that I made the decision that I made because, like I said, I'm an artist. I'm a musician. And to me, that's what matters most. It's being able to create and write, irregardless of, whether people think the band has as much stature or not. That really doesn't matter to me at all.
All right. At your point of view, was that thought to create a new band after leaving Megadeth?
Yes. So, Sean had left Megadeth, 6 hours before I did, and I knew instantly when he left that he had made the right decision, because Dave was starting to call us about working on the next CD, and I knew personally just that my heart wasn't into the idea of working on the next CD. It was, working on my own material. So when we left, we were kind of talking about it, and we'd both come to the conclusion that, it's like, oh, man, we have all this great music that we want to get out, so let's make something happen. Let's put a band together and see what happens, and that's how Act of Defiance was born.
Next one for you, how the band Act of Defiance have been created.
So, yeah, that's exactly how it started was, Sean and I were talking, and we wanted to get music out, and from there, we started talking about just releasing music, and that quickly evolved into, hey, let's make this a full-fledged band, and from there, it was this frantic race to, write music, to find band members, We were on the hunt for Henry. We were looking at different various singers, and we were also chasing labels. Trying to see what kind of interest we were getting from different record labels, and trying to copyright the name and all of that stuff, and with this real need to try and get the music out as soon as possible. And that's really how the band formed. We found Henry. We had Henry demo a song, and we really liked what we heard, and we knew he was the guy. And from there, I had never thought of Matt as our bass player, but Sean was like, yeah, he plays bass, and I'd known Matt and liked him, thought he was a great songwriter and singer, and as soon as I found out that he played bass, I was like, yeah, let's use Matt's talents. And so he completed the 4-piece, and from there, we just, made it work. It was a shotgun wedding for sure.
I have listened to the first album of Act of Defiance, and a big part of the new album, Old Scars, New Woods. And my feeling that the new album is more defying the band. Are you okay with my opinion?
I think we're settling into, our sound as a cohesive band. I think Birth and the Burial was, Sean and I writing music together and then forming the band kind of after the fact, whereas this was everybody submitting music, us all listening to it and making decisions on how, the format, whether we should have, let's roll this chorus into this verse, or, the melody within the vocals, or whatever it may have been. We all kind of got together and had our opinions about it, and we all talked about it, and I think that made for a much more cohesive and better written album this go-around.
I think your band have everything to be a great one in the music industry, but to really enter in the music book story, what do you think the band has to realize?
Oh, I don't. Quite honestly, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me if we make it into the history books or not, or anything like that. We're just doing what we love. It's not a question that I even would worry about at all, because I think as soon as you chase something like that, an idea of what's going to give you fame or stature or anything like that, then you're missing the point of your artistry again.
I think you have the good point of view, because every artist play music at first because he believe in of what he did.
Right.
You have played in Quebec with Megadeth. What do you think of the Quebec crowd?
I love them. They, to me, Quebec is probably one of the rowdiest crowds that you can find in North America for metal. And, for us, that's awesome. This is a huge generalization, but I think it kind of brings the best of what Europe has to offer along with North America. So we love going there. And I think it's a really cool city. It's got a lot of vibe. It's got its own identity, and, we have a great time every time we're there.
With all you said now, do you think it's possible to see the band Act of Defiance play in Quebec early in 2018?
Yeah, that's a distinct possibility. We're working on a North American tour that I know will go up into Canada, but I don't unfortunately have the exact routing to know if we're going to Quebec or not.
Okay, but it's a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. I think all the people listen to the interview now from Quebec are so cool with this answer. And just to close, what's next for you, Chris, and for the band?
Well, right now we're working on these tours, and we're also working on some more media content that we can release out out on the internet, and we've got a lot lined up, really. So that's what our focus is. I've got a couple of personal clinics that I'm doing on my own, and yeah, that's about it.
Oh, I just want to put another question, just a last one. Are you okay with that if I said in 2 years, Act of Defiance have now 3 albums?
Yeah, I would think so.
All right, it's pretty nice to hear it.
Yeah, I think, we write fairly prolifically. It's just a matter of timing within the industry itself. So I would assume for sure that we'll probably have another album.
All right. Chris Broderick, thank you for your time. Have a nice conversation with you today. And hope to see you play in Quebec very soon as possible.
Thank you very much, and I hope to as well.
Thanks. Bye.